Hi, world. How are you? Welcome to the chosen few. Uh, we've got pirates. We've got gods. We've got creatures, big and small. We've got brain shrimp, and mostly pirates. Also water, but mostly pirates. So let's do a quick round robin and check in on what everyone's beliefs are. I hope we get some cool ship beliefs today, and what you guys want to do while traveling, and we can make some cool stuff happening while some random events happen as well. Let's start with Timothy, played by John.
Hello. All right. My beliefs. All right. As always, my guiding light is that I will jeopardize myself or the mission to save even one life. And first belief, now that the brain shrimp are safely on board, Timothy will reach out to the scientific community colleagues in Chalestra. But that might mean that he has some convincing of Thea to do first.
Mm.
And number two, same as last week, Timothy feels guilty about immediately betraying the trust of Mela Stepwise. Her words have made him consider whether or not he can actually trust some members of the team, and he will continue to vet them individually.
Who are you vetting most importantly?
I think Celexa is next at bat.
Celexa? Why I never. Well, speaking of Celexa, how are you doing on beliefs over there? Played by the wonderful Mika.
I'm doing well. My guiding light is that I want to prove to myself and others that I can live up to my great grandmother's legacy and have my own worth beyond just being important by birth. My one belief that I'm going to preserve from last time, which is Celexa will do her best to continue their murder investigation while on the journey. This might include bringing Thea into her confidence. And then belief two is I'm still working out exact wording, but the basic gist of it is the whole like meeting the god thing out of literally in the middle of the ocean. Like, what the hell? That was crazy. And sort of finding out that there's this other more powerful god that kind of like has it out for us a little bit. I think it's left her feeling a little bit shaken up, and she's going to take some time. Oh, it's hard to understand my audio.
Just a
One
little
moment. Let me see.
Okay, how about now?
Oh,
can you hear me?
Much better.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna take some time on the journey to kind of like listen in and see if if I can connect with or hear from my patron.
Sounds really good. Like a smart thing to do. I approve wholeheartedly. Nova, played by the awesome Winona.
All right. Well, mine are pretty much the same. I have a couple more specifics about them, but my guiding light is typically to throw myself into danger to protect friends.
Fair.
Belief number one is that I don't trust Oceana or the pirates, and will do some more snooping to find out what I can about her. My specific thing I would like to do this time is figure out what is underneath the ship, what they're hauling. And my belief number two is I haven't been to Chalestra before, and I'd like to find out more about the place we're heading to. Possibly along the lines of, is there another fighting ring, or what's the crime like there?
Yeah, let's dive into the crime and criminals and all that good stuff. Excellent. And Thea, played by the awesome Ami.
So my guiding light's the same. I want to get closer to the team and also keep my brain shrimp safe. Belief number one, so as I get closer to Racy, Thea wants to kind of prepare and find out about what could grant her like favor and trust with people over there. So then maybe she can convince more people to take on some brain friends.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure
We've got
about
one.
my. What was that?
We have a brain friend, right?
We have, yeah,
Yeah, that'll be interesting too.
Nice.
Cool.
success. I wasn't sure about my second belief.
Mhm.
I think while we're on the ship, maybe just Thea wants to hang out with members of the team,
Mm.
kind of inspired by the pirate life of drinking and partying. Just like, hey, we're all on a team. Let's,
Act
Be-
like we're on a team.
yeah,
Thea wants to organize a nighttime drinking party.
yeah.
That's
there
a great belief. I love that belief.
Woo.
I think that's so wonderful. This is one of my favorite things about beliefs is that we can literally reward you for doing whatever the heck you want to do, right? And if you think that like having a party sounds fun, then we can say sure, it sounds great, and then we can have that be what we reward. I love it. That makes me so happy. It makes me feel very happy. I like it. So it's the middle of one of the days of travel, uh, from Terra Vest to Chalestra, specifically the capital of Chalestra Racy. And you guys have recently left a small, perfectly square island with a perfectly rectangular table upon it that you touched and had a vision. One of you touched and had a vision, followed by all of you having a conversation with a Avera, I think is what she went by. Is that correct? Cool. And she wiped the memory of the person with you, and then kind of just let you go. She was kind of annoying, from my perspective. I hope, I hope that's a little bit true for you guys. Where she was vague and didn't really answer questions, and claimed a lot of responsibility for things in your life, but then didn't really offer much proof about that, and then kind of was, I don't know, pushing you in certain directions, but not all I don't know. It was annoying. I was annoyed by her. My first thought as a player was like, I want to strangle her, except that I'm also, the DM, and so various choices there. So that has just happened, and I think that's fresh on your guys' mind as you guys return to the ship, and you avoided questions from Oceana, basically, saying, I don't know, it's a square island, very weird. And then some of you had some errands. I think I'm going to start actually with Tia, though. Tia, oh, yes, Alexa.
Yeah, I just wanted to check in. I think where we actually left off was at night. Because we had just had this session with Oceana. Was it no? It was Celexa and Nova, right? Yeah, and we shared the expensive whiskey and tried to learn about some stuff. And
Yes, this is why I should use your notes rather than my notes, because my notes don't mention any of that.
And coming out of that, I think. Oh yeah, she mentioned something about after Racy, she was gonna go do a thing with her family, right?
Yeah,
and then they were gonna come back to Racy. And I know that Celexa left extremely drunk, and I'm thinking that she was probably going to stumble back to the cabin that she's sharing with Thea, and I'm wondering if we could start there.
Sure, works for me. Is
that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, okay, so Celexa is like there's Nova. I'm guessing you probably like are helping her back to her cabin, right?
Like carrying her partially.
Yeah. So there may, in fact, be like a stop along the way at the side of the ship to like, Uh, and yeah, and then so I just kind of like open the door noisily and stumble in. I don't. Do you think Thea? Do you think you're still up, or are you out somewhere? Would you be there?
I think I'm still awake and I'm in the cabin.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. So, oh my God, Thea, I can't. Yeah, we just talked to Oceana. It was great. She said I was pretty.
Oh wow, cool. You smell like alcohol?
Oh,
Expensive alcohol.
What?
Expensive alcohol.
Oh whoa.
oh yeah. She drank it all. Don't listen to her. She drank it all. But yeah, I don't know. Thanks Noah. And Celexa just kind of like shuts the door on Nova and falls into her bunk. And she says, "Oh, Thea, what were you doing today? Somebody said you had some stuff with you or something. I don't know. Do you know like what's going on? What are you doing today?"
I was just on the same weird island as you guys. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that the mean person like trying to search our stuff and everything? Like that was weird, right?
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that was weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't seem to care too much, right?
No. Yeah. Yeah. Did you bring the brain shrimp with you? Well, I guess I kind of didn't want to ask before because I wasn't sure I wanted to know. But yeah, I gotta ask now. Did you bring the shrimpy shrimp things, the brain ones?
The brand one. Would you be mad if I did?
Oh, I love you, Thea. You know, we've been through so much, and I can't be mad at you.
Well, honestly, yeah, I did.
Oh,
Bring
okay. Okay, well that's okay. That's
just
okay. Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know how much of this you're gonna remember tomorrow, but just don't tell anybody.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I would never. I would never. Oh, but Thea, I can trust you, right? I mean, we're friends, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Friends.
yeah, we've
Okay, because
done a lot.
yeah, because I love you. I love you, Thea, and I just wanted to. I need to tell you something. I need to tell you that um I'm I'm actually I'm actually I'm a spy.
What?
Yeah, yeah. You really? I'm a spy. Did you? You did. I didn't. You didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that. You know why? Spy. That's why.
That's
Yeah.
that makes sense. Well, pretty sneaky, pretty sneaky. Well, like, who are you spying for?
I I am um well I'm trying to help. I just want to help everybody. I want everybody to be safe and happy, you know? And all this weird stuff that's going on, I just felt like um I felt like I could help, you know. I felt like I could help. So
Whoops.
uh,
My dog. Hey.
but you're not going to tell anybody, right? Because you said I could trust you.
I mean, if you don't want me to tell anybody, then you don't tell anybody about my thing.
I I told you, you can trust me. You can trust me. Oh, but yeah, I yeah, you can trust me. And I think Celexa at this point probably falls asleep in her bunk.
And I think Thea just lays down and kind of stares at the ceiling.
You tuck Alexa in.
Yeah, I think I make sure I shut her off and put a blanket on her.
Nice. Beautiful. So Thea, you've actually installed a brain shrimp in one of the crew.
Yeah.
Of this ship. That process of like full bonding takes a minute or two. After which the brain shrimp seemed very interested and desired started going out and seeing like color again, and so left the inside of the ship to go check on things. So Blade now has a brain shrimp inside, and comes back to the cabin after this conversation is over. Celexa is asleep, and Blade returns and looks at you, and looks at Celexa, and like gestures, like come with me.
And I follow.
She walks up to the top and around the deck and looks at you and says, "It's beautiful."
Good. Good. I'm really glad you're enjoying it.
We didn't know what to expect.
I just want to make sure, Blade, are you enjoying this too?
Yes. It's really nice to feel understood.
I thought you might enjoy that.
Yes. I have to. At some point, I'm gonna have to speak about this with my husband. But thank you.
Just be careful how you reveal it.
Oh, he'll be fine. He's been through a lot.
Oh. That makes him resilient.
No, I think when you've been through as much as my husband's been through, it's par for the course. He's had lots of weird stuff happen in his life. Some things I've been part of, some things I haven't. Been to some weird places. Seen some weird things.
Sounds like you've had quite the adventurous life.
I have.
I mean, I've only been an adventurer for a couple months, and I've already seen a lot of really weird stuff.
Well, I've never seen anything like this. A friend that you carry with you. I like it. I'm gonna get up early and watch the sunset, so I'm gonna go to bed. But I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for taking on this friend. And I just give them a little vial of what's the blood
Bone metal?
Yeah, bone metal. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. They take it without questions because they know that it's their food source. And nod. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. So Nova, you escort Celexa back to her room, and then return to your room with Timothy, if I'm not mistaken. And Timothy is there. Yes. Do we get a similar, if not the same, nighttime conversation between Nova and Timothy?
It would be remarkable if it were the same. Let's see.
Let's find out.
Hey, buddy, how are you doing? How the heck are you?
Timothy is like sketching something in a book, and he's sitting up in his bunk, and he goes, "You smell like college?"
No, expensive alcohol.
Yeah, this is true. That would not be college. You smell like the dean's office then. Well, you've had a fun night, it seems.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oceana, she's a interesting lady.
Oh yeah, you learned anything good?
Well, she's having some kind of second trip after this. But you know what I think is interesting?
What?
What are they hauling as cargo?
How much did you have to drink? They clearly said it was wheat.
Yeah, but what is it really?
I assume it was wheat.
But how likely is it that you have two armed guards watching wheat?
Well, I mean, in my experience, I've seen stranger things. They are in the middle of a famine. I mean, what? Are you gonna break in and like try to find something in the wheat stack?
I'm not saying I'm going to do that.
Okay, good. Because we are guests, and that would lead to a lot of trouble were you to get caught. Remember, Nova? Okay?
Yep.
So I'm glad you're not going to do that.
Nope, I'm not going to do that.
Good, that's settled. You won't do that.
Yep.
No one's doing that.
Sure. Are you enjoying the ship?
Oh, it's fine. I more enjoy the destination than the journey, but I don't mind being surrounded by water.
Yeah, water. Uh-huh. I don't know if I like water. You know, being from the desert and all.
That does make sense. It does make sense. But you should probably have some before you go to bed. Oh.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. And no breaking into places, right?
Sure.
Okay, let me rephrase. No getting caught breaking into places, all right?
Exactly.
Great. Well, if you need a distraction for those guards to tend to, two heads are better than one.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Thanks for being on my side, Timothy.
I'm not on your side. You've just piqued my scientific curiosity.
All right. Yes. Nova just falls asleep.
Two heads are better than one. I've played too many fantasy games. My first thought immediately was, but why not like a Hydra? That's 5 heads. That's a better distraction. Okay. Beautiful. So we will all wake up the next day. I know, no one died in their sleep. I'm so proud of you all. There's literally a game with that mechanic, which is hilarious. You roll, I think it's a 1d10,000 or whatever digitally, and if you get a 10,000, then you die in your sleep. Not even slightly kidding. Okay. Let's see how we doing. Let's do it. Who wants to frame a scene first? We've got room here. Nova, you have an idea?
What? Sorry.
Do you have an idea for what you want to have happen today first?
Yes.
Let's start with you then.
Nova kind of groggily walks over to Thea and Selexa's room and kind of knocks on the door quietly.
I jump out of bed and open the door. Yeah.
Hey, Thea,
Hey.
how would you feel about doing something interesting today?
I'm up for interesting.
So you know how there's wheat underneath the ship?
Yeah, isn't it? The wheat is wheat.
Or is it?
Ah, okay.
So there are two armed guards watching this wheat. And they're nice people. I played some games with them. But in my experience, you don't typically post guards to protect wheat on a pirate ship.
Yeah, it sounds pretty suspicious. And interesting.
And interesting, right? So, I'm thinking maybe tonight, maybe on our last night here, we see if we can find out what exactly is really being stored with this wheat.
Okay. Why on the last night?
Just in case something bad happens.
Okay. Well, I was thinking, being on a pirate ship and all, maybe we want to like get everybody together before we, reach port. Maybe were you? Oh yeah, you were with Selexa. You guys were drinking some nice whiskey. Maybe we could all kind of do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a party.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, a party. So
and maybe during that time we could make sure that the guards have a good time too.
yeah, I think that could be really fun.
Wink.
All right.
Yeah. Out of game. How many is this? Our last night, or do we have more nights?
This is probably not our last night, but but time is fluid,
Okay.
so we can have this occur when your last night occurs, whatever that is. If people have, I don't want to. My intention is to have this session include the last night, time wise, but I don't want to push people past their piratey adventures if anyone wants to have piratey adventures and things like that. So does that feel reasonable? Great, awesome. Yeah, no, I'm time is going to be wibbly wobbly and fluid. Beautiful, excellent. I want to ask Thea a question though before we go further. You wanted to hold a party, and now Nova is converting that party into a spy mission as well. Now, I'm not saying that like you're gonna say no to it or anything like that, but does that irk you a little bit? Like you were thinking, let's all have fun, and she's thinking, let's do work.
Well, I kind of brought it up.
Hmm.
I knew she would turn it into that.
There you go. Okay, fair enough. Okay, sounds good to me. Selexa, how are you this morning?
I think that Selexa probably woke up feeling like garbage, and like probably woke up pretty early, just because like being in the like cramped cabin or whatever, after a night like that is just a recipe for feeling like garbage. And so I think she might have like noisily and with a lot of complaining, and not really bothering to be quiet to not wake Thea up. She probably like grumbled her way out of the cabin and like crawled up onto deck in the early morning to try and get some air.
Oh man, you are a horrible roommate, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, she just did not even have bandwidth to like think about that. Yeah, so she's gonna drag herself up into the cold air and hope that maybe it will like help with the headache and nausea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on the deck in the cold morning air, you see that there are two people. No one else is really on deck right now. It's pretty low key. One of them is an elven woman. I don't know if you communicate with Blade, but seems to be staring off into the distance, waiting for the early morning sunrise, which is just beginning to kiss the clouds with its red light. And the other is Oceana, and she's at the steering wheel. That's not the word.
Do you call it the helm?
Sure, we'll call it the helm. Okay, she's at the helm.
The ship's wheel.
Yeah, and she looks at you and like gestures for you to come up. I
walk up and I just think like visibly look like I'm hurting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She picks up a bowl, focuses on it for a second, and then offers it to you. It's filled with some sort of something. It's hot.
Does it like smell? What does it smell like?
Yeah, it smells a little bit like a thick broth, or something like that. Lots of fluids in it, you know, that sort of thing.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll start sipping on it and hope that it stays down.
It'll help with the headache.
I'm fine. Really, I'm doing. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it?
You're a little out of practice. No big deal.
I'm fine, but thank you. Yeah. Wow. For real though, it's peaceful up here.
Yeah, I like it. Normally I have the deck to myself.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go and try and just let this headache go away. And Selexa's she's gonna like walk over to kind of a part of the deck that's pretty like she's gonna find a quiet spot away from people and just kind of like sit and watch the and kind of like breathe the air and drink the broth and watch the horizon, and she's gonna listen.
And what are you listening for?
She's listening to the she's kind of like tuning into the sounds around her of the waves slapping against the bow of the ship, and the sort of hissing sound of the foam, and the way that the wind kind of like catches in the sails and and makes like ripples and creaks and just sort of like trying to, tune into the wind, especially. And maybe she's there for a while. Like this could be like she's having so this could be we could come back to her later. But
no, I think this is the time. Deck is quiet. You hear a voice first before you see anything. It's very different than the last time you heard it. It's more childlike, whimsical, and it says, I don't think you're very good at asking for help.
Well, I guess I'm not used to having to ask.
Well, your mother bought me for you. You might as well ask for help.
Sorry. There's stuff going on here.
No worries.
Well, I mean, bought is such a kind of crass term. But yeah, okay, point taken. There was something happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Do I get the feeling like she can like hear thoughts, or do I whisper to her, or how do you think that
Yeah, I mean, I think that you are speaking out loud to her. I think you're whispering quietly if you want.
Okay.
But she's speaking into your mind.
Okay.
But she would find it funny that you have to talk out loud and look like a crazy person. Well, she can just whisper into your mind.
So yeah, Selexa's definitely. Go ahead. Selexa is definitely whispering and kind of like feeling weird about it, and hopefully that brings the Archfey Aya some joy. So yeah, there were. Have you ever met gods before?
Depends on what you mean.
So apparently there's this thing that's kind of like looks like a prism or something, and it's sort of out to get us, and I hate to say it, but I'm feeling a little scared. I don't think this is a new place for me.
So a god that looks like a prism is out to get you personally?
Well, so
and you're not dead yet. Good job.
Wow. I guess I didn't really think about it like that. But there's this whole God. It seems like the gods are just so dramatic. Like based on what this one god, I guess, was telling us, there's all of this weird drama, and they're like trying to, like, some of them are really upset about all of this covering stuff, and I don't know, it's just like,
you ever noticed that they're like,
it was even that dramatic,
Yeah, they're very dramatic, but they also don't have a good sense of like dramatic timing, right? Like, you would never put on a play about this stuff. It's nonsense.
Yeah, that's you can't make it up. You can't even make this stuff up.
Yeah. So, why don't you tell me about it? What happened? I'm gonna ask some questions along the way.
So, we're sailing with pirates, and
she's kind of cute.
y- yeah, yeah. That's. She said I was pretty, and I we found this island that was like just a square, and it had it had a table and chairs, and Nova touched the table, and then seconds later we appeared in the audience of this this being, and they proceeded to tell us basically that there's all of this great weird drama going on with the gods, and some of them, you know, they're trying to angle for certain outcomes in this world, and apparently some of them see us as being in the way, and
So they threatened to smite you?
well, they said the god we were talking to just said there were others more powerful who saw us as being in the way and saw us as being pests.
So this god was trying to get your favor by saying, "Ooh, I'm protecting you."
Yeah, but you know, they weren't really like that helpful. They didn't really tell us that much. Just kind of like that this was going on, but we tried to ask, like, they wouldn't help, and they wouldn't we tried to ask them for help, and they wouldn't. They said they, you know, couldn't interfere or whatever, and there wasn't much that they would really tell us in general, just kind of the vague the sort of vague outline of this squabbling, and the fact that this weird prism thing has it out for us.
So it showed up. It told you that other things didn't like you. It told you that it did like you, but then didn't help you at all. But then sort of tried to vaguely manipulate you into doing certain things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't really. Well, maybe it wasn't really trying to help us at all.
What do you think a god even is? My god?
Well, you know, I asked about that, actually. I asked this thing, and it said that you weren't, not exactly. I mean, I guess to me you might as well be, but I don't really know about this. Like, I don't know. I don't know about all
Said
this
that
stuff.
I'm not a god, but it is a god.
That's what they said, but I don't know.
I believed it over me.
No, that's why I'm saying I don't know this. I don't know this kind of thing. What would you? I didn't. It didn't say anything about you. I asked about Archfey, and it said not exactly gods, and so I don't know. What are you?
Well, I am an Archfey.
Yeah.
And gods are more annoying than me.
So far, I have to agree.
Really? That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
I'm sorry. This is not really my saying nice things is not really, I guess, my strong suit.
Unless you're trying to get something.
But yeah, okay. I mean, okay. You don't have to call me out on it.
Hey, 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 does it sound like I'm calling you out? I'm admiring. I like that about you.
Oh, well, I guess maybe we understand each other a little bit after all.
Yeah. When I first got this gig, I was not, thrilled. Hence the whole scary wind demon thing to intimidate you or whatever. But now, like, I've seen how you work. And you know what? It's kind of fun. I dig it. You got the whole, like, little bit of a friendship over there, a little bit of manipulation over there. You never really know how you feel about anything. And that's working out well for me. Right? I'm liking this. And I'm helping you out too, right? You feel good.
Yeah, I mean, without your help, surely I would have died many times over. Although also without your help, I would probably still be back in Sonera. I don't know, having just having parties and um, sleeping in all day, and my parents would be making me go to court and things like that, and it would, oh my gosh, wow.
Do you want to be bored? I can give you a textbook.
Wow. I mean, no, but I don't want to be bored, but oh my god, life used to be so much easier. Where the hell how did I get here? Oh, this is ridiculous. I can't believe. Yeah, I can't believe I left all that. But I guess it was kind of boring.
Anyway, what I'm trying to get across here is when I didn't really know you, didn't really know how you operated, but needed you to like respect me or whatever, I showed up in the guise of like creepy wind god thing. Hey, whoa, hey, that was like a thing that I did.
I was very intimidated.
Good.
Sure.
You should have been. I am very powerful and scary. I'll have you know. I am so scary.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm trying to say is that when I did that, I had a purpose. I wanted you to be scared. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. So you're saying that maybe not necessarily to take the things that I hear from other gods, for example, at face value.
Not even the fact that they claim that there are gods. You should be more mindful of that, right? Look, there's a person over there, and she points at Blade staring off in the distance. If that person turns around and says, "Hi, I'm a god," do you believe them?
Probably not. I mean,
right? You think they're delusional?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she is a god. I'm not really paying attention. But like, still, don't trust people who make absurd claims without evidence. It's much easier to trick people into thinking things than it is to actually be something. You know that better than anyone. Well, better than many.
Well, I guess it just maybe stings a little bit that somebody would lie to me.
I get it.
Without me noticing.
Yeah, well. I guess I wasn't there, so I don't know that they're lying. But, and you feel a finger tap on the middle of your forehead. Here's a blessing of mine. It may help you determine truth from reality every once in a while.
I have a feeling like that might be needed sooner rather than later. So thank you.
No problem. And don't wait so damn long to ask for help again. I've been watching, and I've been having a good time, but, like, you could friggin' ask. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Lady Aya. I couldn't do this without you.
Very true. And you feel a gust of wind blow past you, and your hair gets, like, very messed up because she swirls around you and, like, messes up your hair, and it gets tangled into your horns, and flies away.
Okay.
Timothy, hey, how you doing?
Probably pretty good.
Cool. What's the plan?
I think Timothy's going to wake up with a cheery disposition, just kind of mill about the boat, maybe point out a couple anatomical things of like anatomical ailments, like, oh, that swollen toe there, that's gout. You should really stop drinking out of your lead tankards. See a doctor. Just
Not a lead tankard, it's my leg. And the guy just detaches his leg, and it's the leg filled with ale.
that's a separate problem. That's a separate problem. Okay, well, duly noted. Well, avoid pewter though.
Good to know.
And he's going to make his way to Oceana, because I don't think he's ever actually interacted very much. And
that sounds right.
Keen on finding out whose boat he's really on.
That sounds good. Someone sent me an art for Oceana. Let's see if I can grab that. She's got awesome vibes. Let's see if I can share this quickly. Will this work? You know what? I'm just gonna put it in the Discord. I know that doesn't show up to the stream. I'm okay with that sometimes. Let's see if this works. That'll work. Cool. So, Oceana, with her long dark hair, smiles broadly at you as you approach her. She's on the helm still.
Good morning.
Morning.
We met briefly when you graciously took us on board, but in case you forgot, I'm Timothy.
Yes, the goody two shoes.
Sure.
I assumed you wouldn't want to have anything to do with us pirates.
I mean, a ride is a ride.
Fair enough. How are you?
No, I'm doing well. It's by far a decent boat. I've been on far worse. So thank you.
Carving knife, a decent boat. Okay, fair enough. You're a little insulting, but that's okay.
I've heard that. Well, I just wanted to say hi. Really. I don't know if you need anything from me. I'm scientifically inclined. If you'd care to know the genus and/or species of fish or seafaring birds or what have you, I don't know. I'm your lizard man.
She nods.
No? Okay. No takers. Where so why are you taking us? It seems awfully nice. Why did you agree to take us? Did Celexa do a favor for you or something? It just seems, no offense to you, just unpirate-like.
I'm doing all sorts of unpirate-like things these weeks.
Go on.
Transporting wheat.
Ah, yes, the wheat.
You make me look more legitimate.
Fair. Do you get stopped often?
I have a feeling I might this trip. I'm not supposed to. But things are a little chaotic in the capital right now.
Sure. What kind of defenses have they put out recently? What are we sailing into?
Oh, just the Celestian Navy.
Hmm.
Typically, they let me be, but they're worried about me lately. They don't trust me like they used to.
Hmm. And can they?
I guess not.
From what I understand of pirates, which to be fair is mostly in works of fiction, is that they often serve both sides until neither are beneficial to them, and then they just care about themselves. Is that accurate?
I care about things other than myself.
What do you care about?
My family, my crew, my ship, freedom. I have I never know what to call him. I have a older relative who is in Racy, and he cares about a lot of things, and I care about him. And so he's rubbing off on me a little. That's it. He needed a favor, and I'm helping out.
Is the wheat the favor?
That's what I said the favor is.
Mm-hmm. Illuminating. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Sure.
If you need to use us as a cover and whatnot, I'm happy to come up with some story about a scientific expedition or whatnot.
Sure, feel free. That might come in handy. Who knows? So from last night, my conversations with a couple of your crewmates have implied that you're heading to Race C for revolutionary reasons.
Wow. Some colleagues, great, just tight-lipped on ships.
Well, you know, I may have plied them with alcohol.
Wow. Okay. Okay, just between you and I, which one gave in first?
Alexa.
Huh. That's hope for me then. Sorry. Go on.
No, it's nothing like that. I just well, I happen to be friends with someone who's involved in the revolution or the uprising or whatever you call it. It's been going on for a while now. It's not really going anywhere, in my opinion, but you never know.
You know, I don't know whether or not to trust you. I'm perfectly fine being frank.
I'm a pirate. Don't trust me.
Right, exactly. And you said that the Celestial Navy leaves you alone, which to me would suggest that you are paying them off, or you are running favors for the government, or some other kind of thing. So
I was for a while, but I'm not right now, which is why I think that they'll probably stop us.
Ah, I see.
I was working under specific letters of marque and reprisal. The Primarch and I had a dealing, as it were. A couple others too, but the basic assumption was that I would attack certain ships and not other ships, and then deliver a percentage of the goods to the Primarch.
That deal's done?
Seems so. He said he had no more interest, and he wasn't going to pay for them anymore. And I was like, I've got this whole cargo filled with weapons. They are what he wanted, but now they're not what he wants anymore. So I took him to Terravest and sold them there.
I must have fetched a pretty penny.
A little bit. Not the most profitable enterprise. Weapons aren't really what makes you money. You know what I mean? It's a really decent trade, but costs a lot to fight, and then replacing weapons isn't as necessary. I mean, you've got a bow, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Short sword, maybe.
Yeah, among other things.
How many short swords have you gone through?
3?
That's a lot.
Yeah,
And-
well, I mean, they're all functional still. They just keep getting taken away, you know?
Yes. Sure. Yeah. That sounds like a problem that you would have, doesn't it? Yeah, not a lot of resale value. Not a lot of people want used weapons.
That's fair.
Although, I guess the Primarch did.
Also, I feel like just like literally everyone and anyone walking, just like you pass anyone and they have like 3 weapons, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone in this world seems to have a sword and a dagger somewhere on their body. It's strange. I've never really gotten the appeal. Yes, I know I am heavily armed, but if I could get away with not being heavily armed, I would prefer it.
That's an interesting perspective.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you
What
like
if you come across a pirate?
Well, in an ideal world.
What if one of them just like holds a rapier to your throat and says, she draws a rapier, give me all your money. And she winks.
Ah. Well, the joke's on you. I don't have any.
Fair enough. She sheathes her rapier.
I appreciate this talk. It seems that while your sword is pointy, you can be blunt and direct.
One of the benefits of not living inside a society where everything is based on lies all the time.
That's fair. Can I ask you a question? I don't think you have anything to lose from this.
Sure.
I feel like I could trust your opinion, which is not, I don't think I could say that on most topics, but do you think I can trust my team?
You're doubting your own crew?
Well, surely you must deal with those thoughts sometimes.
But I'm a leader. I'm not one of them. No matter how much it'd be nice to be again. I am the one in charge.
Okay.
That means I always have to look over my shoulder. Always be worried.
Let's say, what if one of your crew members, Mirko, is it? One of the
Sure.
Kobold, right? Let's say he doesn't trust another crewmate. What would happen on your boat?
Depends on the situation. Depends on what's causing the distrust. Likely I'd be asked to resolve the situation. I've thrown people off my boat before. Stranded them on islands. I even keelhauled someone once. Though not for that sort of reason. Whole different thing.
But back to me. What's your impression of my team? No, just Celexa.
She's got a good mind, and she knows how to work the angles. She was sitting over there earlier today, just talking to herself, thinking things through.
They call me the weird one.
You are very weird, Timothy. Look, I can't. If you have doubts, you have doubts. Nothing that some strange pirate queen is going to tell you is going to resolve the doubts in your mind.
God, I wish that were the first time I had heard that sentence. Yeah, I hear you though. Thank you, Oceana, and again, thank you for hopefully continued safe passage.
Sure. When we get to Chalestra, when we get to Racy, we're actually in Chalestran waters now. When we get to Racy, I'm gonna smuggle you guys into a temple after getting you here. It's a good place for people who are looking to get into some trouble. The way that you guys are interested in getting into some trouble.
Good trouble, I hope.
Sure. But yeah, there's a fox folk in the kitchen. He'll set you up.
Thank you. I'd like to think that we are doing what's right. And then by transitive property, you are also doing what's right by helping us.
I don't like thinking that big picture.
Fair enough.
Morality is all.
Well, again, thank you.
Now get off my helm, or I keelhaul you.
Don't know what that means. Goodbye.
It's a form of execution that we use on traitors.
I don't want to find out. Goodbye.
She laughs. Okay. Thea, how you doing this morning?
Good. I think I'm gonna try to find Blade.
Mhm.
Hey, good morning, Blade.
You could call me Orta if you want.
Orta. Okay.
It's a former name. I haven't used it as much, but it feels appropriate for some reason.
Well, Orta. I wonder, in your vast travels, have you been to Racy before?
Yes.
Oh, great. I wonder, what do you know of the people there? I know they're going through a famine now, but are they easy to trust?
If you're asking if an entire citizenry is easy to trust, it's a city. It has 500,000 citizens, I think. It's huge, and is it easy to trust? No, of course not. No place is easy to trust.
That makes sense.
I trust people, not cities, not organizations.
Okay. Well, to be honest, there's some more of my friends I'd like to pair up. And I think if I could gain at least some people's trust in Racy, I can find some successful matches. And I don't know, they might not all be able to easily trust me, but I could gain some favor with some people.
It's never going to be a city. It's always going to be individuals, right?
Yeah.
You don't have 500,000 friends to pair up. I
Oh,
presume.
no. I don't think there are even that many of them.
No, that's right. That's right. I don't think I'm the right person to ask. I go places, I do my business, and I leave. I don't make a lot of friends. I might know someone across the Shimmering Seas in Ribbonholm, but it's a long way off, and even then, I'm not certain.
Well, have any of the other crew been to Racy?
Sure, most of us have docked there at some point or another. Oceana is, I don't know if she's exactly from there, but her father is from there, Fabian.
Oh, okay. So maybe I should talk to her about the people there?
Sure, if you want, but I don't think she'll be sympathetic to the sort of arrangement that I have.
Of course not. Yeah.
She would
It will
see it
be-
as a giving up of freedom. She likes her independence.
Well, I certainly won't tell her about our friends.
So good decision.
But so I was thinking of maybe on another note having a little get together before we dock. As a pirate, do you think most of the crew would be obliged to join?
You're suggesting a shindig or a hootenanny?
I'm not sure exactly what either of those are, but hootenanny sounds more appropriate.
Drinking and dancing and playing loud music and singing loud pirate songs.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun. And it's
Sure.
been a while since we've had a good amount of fun ourselves.
Roll a persuasion check. She looks at you and she says, I'm not really one for without much company, but I guess if it gets going, I'll join in.
Yeah, if it gets going, I'll be sure to knock on your door, get you to come out.
Fair enough. I won't say no.
Do you think Oceana would be open to sharing some of her liquor?
We've got cheap liquor for things like this.
Okay. A party's a party, I suppose.
Party's a party. Yeah, get Iki on board.
Does Iki like to drink?
Yes, Iki has a little bit of a stick mentality, just like very stiff. But if you get them on board, then they'll be the life of the party, and they'll get everyone there.
That sounds fun. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Blade. And I think I'll go try to find Iki.
Yeah. And I think you'll find him after the break. We'll be back in 10, guys. everyone, we're back. Hope you are doing well. Glad to be back. Hope that everything in your life is going well. If everything in your life is not going well, I'm really sorry about that, but here's a picture of a dog. And maybe that will help, because it is really cute, and it's wearing a sweater, and it's adorable. And if your life is going well, I hope you take the moment to recognize that not everyone's life is going well. And so, as always, I like to take a moment here to recognize the privileges that we have, the things that we can do that are pretty cool, like sit around on a Sunday and play games together, and that's pretty nice. And if you're sitting around on a Sunday and enjoying this game, well, please take a moment to think about how you could help support the world and make the world a better place. What does that look like for you? What actions can you take that will actually in some way support and or help people who are less well off than you? Whoever they may be, whatever that may look like. I don't really want to push on specific ways of doing things, because I think that I don't know what your life is like. I don't know what any of your lives are really like. But do take the time to search for a way to help those who are less fortunate than you. Whatever that looks like to you, please, please, please find a way to do that. As always, we've got multiple shows on this channel. We have shows right now, Sunday, Thursday, and some Fridays. That's Sunday game is this one. You're watching it now. Thursday morning, we've got a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl game where we're diving through a tomb and figuring out lost secrets, but they recently found a crashed alien spaceship, so that may change things a little bit in that game. Don't know what they're going to do with that. We'll find out. And then on Thursday evening, we've got the Assassination of Primarch Magli Blackice. That's a game in which they try to overthrow a fascist dictator. This group of people also dislikes him, and we'll see if their showing up into Ray C might serve as a kick in the pants for some of these people. On Fridays, we normally have a show where we change our RPG systems, but it's on hiatus right now, but it'll be back. It'll be back soon, I'm sure. Marcus, right? Nod at me if you think it'll be back. Yeah, he's thumbs up. Great. Awesome. Cool. It'll be back soon, and it'll be great. And you should go check that one out, too. It's a lot of fun. And with all that being said, we're going to dive back in. So, Thea, you go and find Iki. Iki is the quartermaster on this ship. And Iki is a little bit of a stiff person. You kind of need someone stiff to counterbalance Oceana's easygoingness. And so Iki looks at you when you find them, and they are they're in the quartermaster's cabin, like going over records of things on the boat and doing like counts of various things. It's actually really not necessary, but they're so stick in the muddy that they like keep on doing the work well past the point that they need to do the work. Also, you may have noticed their pronouns are they them. So Iki looks up at you and says, "Well, what do you want?"
Hey, Iki. So I was told you might like to have a little, or you wouldn't mind if there was like a get together on the ship.
A get together?
Or I think it was called a hootenanny.
Hootenanny? There will be no hootenanny on this ship. This is a good and well-organized ship. We have not had a successful raid. We have not had a successful event of any sort. We have had merely travel. And we cannot have hootenannies whenever there is merely travel. We can only have hootenannies. They're only permitted by my rules when there have been successful events that have occurred, specifically raids or pillages.
Oh. Well, wouldn't you consider it successfully transporting people that you wouldn't normally transport a success?
We haven't successfully transported you yet.
Well, what if we have this hootenanny the night before we dock? Then we're pretty much at the success.
Normally we save that for shore leave.
Oh. Well, I'm just saying because my group, once we dock, we're gonna be out in Racy and we wouldn't be back at the ship.
Out of our hair and gone. Wow. You speak such beautiful words to me. Words that excite me.
And wouldn't you like to celebrate that excitement?
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh.
No! I would like to celebrate when we have earned the right to celebrate, and not a moment before.
Well, I gotta ask, are there gonna be any raids? It seems like we're doing a pretty straight and narrow shot.
No. There aren't scheduled any raids. We might come across a ship, and Oceana might order one.
Oh. And then there would be a hootenanny following?
Well, strictly speaking, yes, there would be a hootenanny the evening after a raid,
Okay.
presuming that there wasn't inordinate loss of life.
Sure, of course. How often do you just like come across a ship that you raid?
Relatively rarely.
Oh.
Usually we hunt for them.
Well, there's got to be, some bending of the rules sometimes.
Of course, we're pirates.
Right. Yeah, pirates. I mean, what if people just got together, they all just brought their own ale, and it wasn't like a scheduled thing, but something just spontaneously happened.
A happenstance?
Yeah, sure.
You intend to have a happenstance?
I don't know if you can intend to have one, but
That's my point.
I'm just talking about hypotheticals.
They wag their head at you, and you see they've got again jewels around their eyes as like fake eyebrows, and they're just sort of like wagging as they do. They sort of rattle back and forth, and they're like, "This is highly irregular."
Well, isn't even just transporting us highly irregular?
Yeah, roll another persuasion check.
Come on, persuasion. Wait.
Yeah. I don't know. This is. Well, you can't start it.
Okay.
You're a guest.
100%, I'm a guest.
Passenger on this ship.
So it would have to be started by you?
If a crewmate on this vessel starts a happenstance and it happens to occur, then I have been informed by my captain and my queen that I am not allowed to interrupt it.
All right. Very good to know. Well, let's see what happens.
Their eyes starts like twitching. Yes. Let's.
And I slowly back out of the room.
Okay. Nova, how you doing?
Okay.
What's the plan? What do you want to do?
I would like to use my city watch background and see if I can find the shadiest person on the ship.
The shadiest person on a ship of pirates.
Yes, the shadiest pirate.
The shadiest of pirates. So I need a little bit of clarification on what shady means to you in this circumstance, because the answer is yes, you can find that person. But there's an argument for Oceana is that person because she's the pirate queen, and there's an argument that Blade's that person because they're a secret person with secrets and things like that. But you're looking for something more specific than that. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for someone who has knowledge of the seedy parts of Racy.
Sure.
Willing to divulge any information about that.
Sure, yeah. There's a human named Song. She is who you're looking for.
All right. I saunter over to Song and say, "Well, hello."
She looks at you. She's got the sides of her head shaved, and her hair is like cut short and cropped. a little bit on top of her head. She's got ripped tunic that she's wearing. It's long enough to go mid thigh, but she's not wearing pants. And you see tattoos all up and down her arms. And she just does a quick glance at you and says, "Hello."
As a side note, is this the same person that I played games with?
Yes.
She's one of the guards.
Yeah.
Oh, well, nice to see you again. I actually was wondering if I could pick your brain about something.
Sure.
Well, you seem like the kind of person to get to know if I want to know all about the goings on in Racy.
You could say that.
So I was wondering, you know that my group and I were part of less than savory fight ring,
The gauntlet.
the Gauntlet. I was wondering if you knew anything about that that would be similar and happening in Racy.
Sure. There's a couple different ones.
Oh. And what parts of town might I look into if I was trying to find one of these gauntlets?
Well, you should know that I haven't been there since the covering fell, and it wouldn't surprise me if some of these things have changed a little bit since then. There's a little bit of my understanding is the city's a little fucked up. But the Dockward district has a couple of things. There's a couple of nice bars that we could go that I can point you in the right direction of. And we can get you somewhere that'll get you involved in something. Do you? I have to ask. Do you mind fighting? I mean, I know that you were fighting mostly clockwork and bestial things. Do you mind fighting humanoids?
Well, I would have to discuss it with my team. I know some of us would probably be fine with that, but some of our members are more discerning.
What about one-on-one fights?
One-on-one fights? Sure.
We don't have the technological wonders that they have in Terra Vest. None of these mechanical robots. There's a couple of beast fights, wrestling lions and things like that. There's a fun challenge. I don't know if you'd be interested in it. They have a magician simulate a storm, and you try to pilot a ship through it.
Well, I don't know if I'd be any good at that, but that does sound fun to watch.
Sure, yeah, of course. It's a weird place to be right now. Not a lot of the entertainment's a little dark.
Who would you say is in charge of these different diversions?
What makes you think there's one person in charge?
Oh, is there anyone who's kind of in charge of the more interesting parts of Racy?
You're asking about the guild.
I suppose I am.
Yes, but we don't know them.
That's not someone that that's not a group that you identify with as a pirate.
Oh no, I mean I know of them and I know who they are, but I don't know who's in charge. They're cagey that way. Keep things secret.
Like probably a group of people versus a single person?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Hard to say.
And is the guild like located in a specific spot?
Further inland, the docks are contested territory. So you're going to want to go to Center City. There's a bar there
And
called called the Storm Cloud.
oh, is that where the magician is?
No, he's on the western side of the city. I can't remember the name of the place, but I'll get it to you. No, the Storm Cloud's where the guild is located, whatever their deal is. But they've got stuff there, and you might be able to find something that interests you. Certainly, someone will find something that interests you there.
Okay. And as far as I know it's been a while, but as far as pirate inclinations, what do you plan to do when you dock?
Drink.
Drink?
I think the captain said that she wants us to have a fast turnaround. Probably just one night in town.
Okay.
We're headed somewhere else after that.
Do you know anything about your journey afterwards?
I mean, we go wherever the captain says.
She's visiting her father?
It'd be fun to go see Fabian, yeah. I don't know though.
Okay.
He's south of here. There's a island, tropical-ish, nice, palm trees, booze.
All right. And if you were to give me any advice regarding speaking with the guilds, do you have anything that you would suggest?
Are you looking to join?
I'm more interested.
Then my advice would be don't be interested.
Okay.
I mean, roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
I mean, look, they're just like whatever. They're guilds. They keep secrets. They do things. You never know what side they're on. They're always on their own side, definitely, but their side might line up with someone else's side, and like, I don't know. Would you like to roll an insight check?
Yeah. I'd like to add a D8 for my.
Feel free.
My thing. That D8 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing real good.
Yeah. As she's speaking to you, she sort of subtly covers her arm, like this, and splits her fingers in the middle, and like you see that between her fingers is a tattoo of a storm cloud with an eye in the center of it. Like it's like a top-down view of a hurricane or whatever from one of those maps, except in the center, instead of seeing like the eye of the storm, you literally have a depiction of an eye.
Huh. Interesting. I guess I have one final question.
Sure.
As seeing that we're going into some interesting territory, what with the king being kind of nuts.
Primarch, but yes.
Yeah. Well, potato.
He's elected.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
With all that being kind of suspicious, what is the best way to avoid the kind of royal guard.
The cops,
Yes.
the town guard. Sure, don't do anything that gets on their radar. Nothing more than anywhere else. They're not superheroes.
Oh, okay. So there's not certain areas to avoid, or
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean the political areas are where they're guarded the most. The town square. There's a big building that was just built recently. That's the new city hall. There's a seaside, I think it's called, neighborhood that's full of rich people and politicians.
all right. So just
I mean, they're around. I'm not saying you can't like do. You're not going to see them if you don't go to those places, but they're bad. But they don't generally hassle people unless you are doing something.
yeah, of course, and we're all law-abiding citizens here, so
Sure. No, I'm just saying, like, don't get caught.
Right. Okay. Well, just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, no, fair. I've been to places where it's worse. There's the capital of Pryan. You're from Pryan, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like every district is walled off in its own place, and you need passes to get from place to place. It's in the capital. It's intense over there, but no, Chelestra's a little bit more loose.
Oh, okay. That's also good to know.
Great. Glad to be of assistance.
Oh, I just thought I'd mention it. I hear there's supposed to be a party later.
A party?
Yeah. I think we're trying to keep it on the down low until someone decides to start it. But
Sure. A way to pass some time.
yeah. But keep an ear out, and it'd be great if you could come.
I'll be there.
All right.
Alexa, how are you?
Doing all right. Hopefully, maybe feeling a little bit better after a rough morning. Although, she still has had a lot to think about. I think yeah, I think that Celexa is going to try and at some point during the day is going to try and track Thea down again.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Where does she find you, Thea?
Probably just on the deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So hey, Thea, about we like talked last night, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I was wondering how much of that you remember.
Yeah, well, I think that I think I remember most of it. And I just yeah, I don't know. I guess I wasn't really planning on telling you, but since I did, I kind of wanted to get your advice on something. What? So I'm trying to figure out this whole thing. I mean, we all are. We're all trying to figure this whole thing about the assassination and who did it. And do you remember we found that hair? And it seems like it totally could be Misozi who did it.
Yeah, right.
Do you think that's who it is? Like, is there anything?
I mean, it's hard to say because We only were able to investigate so much before we left. Do you think it's Masozi?
Well, I do think so, but also I also know that you guys were keeping some stuff for me, so I didn't know if that was really I didn't know if I had the whole story.
Well, I mean, we told you everything. We were just
Well,
keeping an eye on Brecha.
I mean, no, I'm talking about you guys had that conversation in the prison.
Oh, yeah.
When I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I need to know about like you guys still don't know who did it. Is that right?
Yeah.
And as far as we know, it still could be Masozi.
Well, I mean, it might be somebody. There are a few people in the room. That's all we know.
In the room where it happened?
In the room where it happened.
Okay, all right. Good. That's all right. Well, so there were a few people there, and Masozi may or may not have been one of them.
I mean, I don't know how much he might have been involved.
Okay. All right. Well, tell you, I'll if I find anything out, I'll tell you. And I don't know. I wish that there wasn't all of this like sneaking around, and I wish I felt like I could like. I just feel weird about it now. Like I don't know if like I felt like I could tell you, but I don't know if Nova and Timothy would understand. And because yeah, I mean, Timothy, he can be a little uptight sometimes, right? A little bit, and Nova is just very strong-willed, and has her own. They're not chill like you are. So.
Well, thanks, I guess. Well, I think I think we just need to lean into being a team. You know what I mean? We just need to like bond with each other and create those relationships, create those bridges between each other. Maybe if you talk to them, they'll be more understanding than you think.
I'll think about it. Okay, I gotta go think about that now.
Okay.
And I think Selexa is going to, seeing that Thea is, like, she's going to leave Thea up on the deck and go back down to their cabin and close the door, and she is going to try Recha on the sending stone.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay, yeah. You get in touch.
So, hi. I just wanted to see. I really wanted to talk to Masozi before we left, and unfortunately, we didn't have time. And I wanted to see if you spoke to him at all.
No. He didn't show up.
He didn't show.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard from him, or none of your people have none of our people have seen him.
He clearly didn't get the message. I put out the message, and usually I get like a thing that takes it down, and then we meet. But it was never taken down. I think he may have left.
Well, that definitely isn't a good look for him under the circumstances.
Definitely.
And the Thea tells me that apparently there were a few people in the room when the assassination took place, and so that sort of complicates things a little bit. But I thought if you didn't know that already, I thought you should know.
Interesting. Are we certain that they were all people?
I am not certain. I want to see really quick if I can see. A note. From. Yes. Where are we going? I'm trying to look at notes from the from the conversation that that Nova and Thea and Timothy had without Celexa there.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, it's from a while ago. I remember it, but I remember it well enough, I think. But
yeah, can we like I'm looking for this. Can we revisit that for just a moment?
Yeah. So you're talking about sorry, the conversation that they had together about with whom or which one?
Yeah, with the person that Timothy summoned, right?
Mm-hmm.
The woman that Timothy summoned.
Right, Mela. So they had a conversation with Mela. Yeah, so Mela claimed that there was okay. Straighten everything out a little bit. So there's been two different assassinations.
Right.
One successful and one not successful.
Right.
The not successful one was against Mela. And two people, there were two members of the Kava in that room. Sorry, there were three members of the Kava in that room, and one of them was killed.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened there's a little bit cagey. But in general, the story that has gone out is that the Kava attempted to assassinate Mela, and Magli is using that as an excuse for war. Now,
okay, that
turns out not to be true.
Right.
It's an excuse for war.
Right.
But for political reasons, Mela can't announce that.
Right.
Perspective. Then, on the other side, we have the secondary assassination, which was successful, which again seems to have been someone from the Kava who successfully killed Abdul Kamar.
Right.
Do I have that right?
Mm-hmm.
No. Yes. No, Kasher. Sorry, Kasher.
Kasher, right. Yeah,
Kasher.
yeah.
Thank you. My bad. Abdul Kamar's partner, Kasher. Sometimes I think of family units. It's a mistake. So just for clarity's sake, that was, as far as we know, just one person that we found hair, that we identified as being Kavanian hair. So that's sort of that whole thing. Does that clarify some things broadly?
Yeah, thank you for helping to straighten that out. I appreciate that. It's a lot. It's a lot to hold. I'm like trying to look at notes, but it's
3 hours a week. It's 17 plot lines. Don't worry about it. I forget shit. let's yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then sorry, I forgot that too. So then I was giving you information about the other thing by accident, just because out of game, I was thinking of.
There's two assassinations. They both involve a kebab. What am I supposed to?
Right. No, for sure.
Okay. Maybe we should roll back and revisit that conversation then for just a second before we converse. Let's redo that conversation again. If that's between Thea and Celexa, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I think Thea was unintentionally lying to Celexa.
Okay.
But I think it was actually just like a moment of confusion on player part, not Thea purposely lying to Celexa.
Yeah. Let's
try that again.
So Okay, so Lexa is saying, like the whole Masozi hair thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe he did it. Maybe somebody just put it there. But I've got this weird. I mean, I feel like it has to be his. It's so distinctive. What do you think? Do you think he could have done it?
Maybe, but we think this same person might have also tried to attempt to assassinate Mela stepwise.
Mela, that woman, Timothy's friend.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know if Masozi could have been there at the same time. I mean, and that's like the biggest clue, I think.
Yeah.
Link.
Okay. Well, thanks. And yeah, just I'll tell if I learn anything, I'll be sure to tell you, and you can do the same. If you yeah, I would appreciate it if you would do the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Thee. So now later,
Yes.
talking to Recha, so listen, I just want to let you know that that our team has been talking to Mela and trying to figure out what's the connection between those two assassinations, and I think that they might still be working together in some capacity. But
the diplomat.
Yeah, I figured that you would know her.
Yeah, she's been in on meetings and the like. I don't think I realized that she was involved in this sort of thing.
Well, you didn't hear it from me.
Of course not. I've never heard anything from you. We've barely spoken. Do you think that we know that there is a attempt at a coup of some sort against Black Eyes. Do you think that she might be connected?
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm hoping to meet some people. I'm hoping that we'll make some connections once we get to Racy. And in the meantime, I felt bad that we left the. It felt urgent to come, but we also left.
Well, he didn't show, so it didn't end up mattering.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't have permission for what I'm about to tell you. Ara can't find out. She wouldn't fully understand. Okay?
I understand. Yeah.
Magley Black Ice is bad for the Grand Accord. He's bad for the Starlight Order. He's bad for, I think, the world. If the revolution, rebellion, ragtag group of people, if you think that it looks like at all good, like at all like it might be successful, even if it's just successful in the way that like keeps Magley off our global problems for a while, I'm going to give you an address. I want you to go there. You'll find behind the 10th stone in the alley on the side, there is going to be a bag. And if you think if this is your determination, if you think they have any chance of being successful, again, even just under the criteria of like stirring up some trouble and making him not be able to focus on the war with Kava, right? If you have any hope of that, then feel free to give him a bag. It'll have 100,000 in there.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's see who's in race C first.
Yes, and don't give that to someone incompetent.
Good. I will do my best. Yeah. I'll be in touch soon.
Good. I've got to go deal with some stuff that's happening in the north, but it's good to check in.
Okay. Thank you. I think, yeah, Celix is just going to kind of lay on her bunk and absorb that for a few minutes. So.
Yeah. Timothy, how you doing?
Pretty good.
You have a plan?
I have some scenes in Timothy has some scenes in mind, but I think they could be party scenes.
Okay.
If the ship is abuzz with party.
Can we jump ahead? I think it's the next day that's going to be the night of the party. Does that sound reasonable to people? And it'll be the night before we go in. Does anyone have any objections to that? Great. Let's. I mean, I feel like Thea has already gotten this party started. Am I correct in assessing that? Like, you've gone and said there's going to be a party tonight to everyone, and so the people are partying.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Oceana is totally down, and of course, Iki, who is deeply unhappy with this, is cowed immediately by Oceana. And Oceana pulls out one cask of the good ale. Not the great ale, not the exquisite ale, but the good ale. And then like pulls out another cask of the bad ale for later. And you know, as one is prone to do, once you're done with the first round, what do you need the second half for anyway? Yeah, so it's a party. Yeah, I think that let me take a quick look at my list here. Yeah, I think everyone is there except for Song, which is interesting. And
are there people like at night? Is there still a crew above on the deck?
Yeah, but there's not a lot of work to do because it's, as long as there's no weather, then like it's heading in the right direction. They're well trained and all that stuff. And like while they're drinking on the deck, the drinking is on the deck as well, and the crew is on the deck as well. But everyone's sort of lax and chill. Song is not there, and there's a couple of people that aren't named that aren't there, who have like actual duties or whatever. But the ship's chef has sort of outdone themselves, and has like made some like hors d'oeuvres or whatever. It's seas hors d'oeuvres, so it's chips and crackers or whatever. But still it's hors d'oeuvres. And yeah, so it's a happening thing. I think that the party on your ship is mirrored almost instantly by loud noises that you hear on the other ships in the fleet. From parties that are like, so the captain's partying. Fuck yeah, we're all partying, man. That's the immediate vibe. And it's like pretty funny. Like people start playing games where they try to like hand signal messages to each other and then use sending stones to actually communicate what they said to like transfer between ships and things like that. They're not allowed, like basically long distance charades. And yeah, so it's like it's fun, and there's a fair bit of drinking going on. And I think I will start with Timothy at the party.
Well, I think we're gonna find Timothy teaching a group of pirates a college drinking game, which we played this in the science department. We called it beaker pong, and the idea is you have to get this in one of those beakers, and then they have to drink whatever is in that beaker. Makes sense, right? Makes sense.
Malik looks at you and says, "This seems biased towards tall people."
Well, you can bounce it too.
Can I stand on the stool?
Hey, anything goes in beaker pong.
Then I challenge you, matey. I challenge you to a game of this pong beaker pong.
Then you are on, my friend.
I grant you the first throw as the challenger.
I don't remember that being the rules, but okay.
Yeah, so you play some beaker pong. Do you want to roll a dexterity saving throw to see how well you do?
Oh, sure.
Or is it a con saving throw because of how drunk you are? It's your choice. I'll give you either.
We'll do dexterity.
Okay. Oh, he does really, really well. It's a close game, but you totally win. Gets down to 1v1 though for 1v1 cup for a while.
Oh, but that was fun though, wasn't it?
It was. I feel like I should set this up again.
Yeah, you should absolutely re-rack and challenge that person.
Poor, you're on.
Does Timothy see Celexa on deck?
Sure.
Celexa, hey, come here. Let's go walk this way. Have a drink.
Oh, hi, Timothy. I'm not really. I'm still kind of recovering from the other night. I don't know if I really should be drinking right now.
I mean, both. This is one thing that college students, from what I remember, and pirates have in common. The best way to cure a hangover is more drinking.
You were gonna say the best way to hang a cure over, weren't you?
That also happens when one is drinking.
Oh, okay, fine. Give me that.
There we go.
Yeah. Ugh. This is not like the stuff I used to get at home. Let me tell you.
I know it's better, right? Although I do know there's this one tribe that use fermented fish oil. And, oh, wow, is that potent?
Yeah, that sounds terrible. I don't know why you would ever drink that, but I guess you do. Timothy, you've always been true to yourself, and I appreciate that. Just keep doing you, buddy.
Yeah, it's funny that you should bring up the truth, because I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of being honest and level with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't like it when I found out from Oceana that you are telling people that we are with the Resistance, because that's not a good way to keep a secret. A life or death secret.
So I hear you, and I just want to acknowledge that there's space for your feelings here. But also, I just felt like isn't it true we're going into a strange, well, I guess it's not that strange to you. You kind of know, like, you're from here-ish, right? So you kind of know a little bit, but you don't, like, none of us know exactly who we're going to see, or like what to expect, or what Racy is like right now. And it just seems like we need some intel. We need some something to get started on. And so I feel like we've got to ask people. We've got to make decisions about who to trust. And I felt like I got a feeling like Oceana wasn't going to screw us over. So, and she seems like she has a lot of connections and knows people, and I think she's going to help.
I talked with her, and as best I can tell, I as best you can trust a pirate, I don't disagree. So I think ultimately you made the right choice.
Well then, what's the problem?
The ends don't always justify the means. It could have been a lot worse, and you need to be careful who you divulge things to. We're on a team here. We need to work together. This is life and death stuff.
I mean, I guess that's true, but on the other hand, like, you're also not telling me everything, so I don't think you can hold it against me when I'm using my best judgment with in the moment with what I've got.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. I will be direct with you. I'm not telling you everything because I was told that I cannot, and I was sworn to secrecy, and by someone whose life was in danger. If I could, I would tell you everything.
You can't have it both ways. But I oh, did you guys? Oh, never mind. Everybody was really still for a moment, and I thought you guys froze.
We lost you for 1 second, but I think you're back.
So yeah, you can't have it both ways. Okay, so it is kind of wacky right now, a little bit. Okay, but don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to do right by you, and I'm trying to do right by the team. But it seems like there's some limitations to that right now. So
when I get the sense that I can trust you, I will more than happily tell you everything that I know. You probably already know it. You're very clever.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah. Let me just end this with one caveat.
Oh wow! Even when you're drinking, it's caveat.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Look here. This is my homeland. That is tenuous and dangerous and fraught with disaster. And these are my people. And if you happen to put them in peril, put them in harm's way, if you, just because of your loose lips or whatever, what have you, harm the chances that the resistance has, I will not hesitate to stop that again from happening ever again. And I do not make these threats lightly.
Quite a change from... Well, this is quite a change from handing me a mug and inviting me to party. Maybe there's some hope for you yet on the subterfuge.
Well, you know that you can trust me and trust what I'm saying, because I didn't poison that drink. Have a good evening.
Wow, that's
Damn.
I don't think I was expecting that from you, Timothy. I dig it. I'm down. I am here for it. Flexa, how do you feel right now?
I think on one level, I think Celexa kind of has a newfound respect for Timothy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she, yeah, I don't know. She didn't really think that he necessarily like had it in him, to push back like that and to get I don't know, get all fired up. So she thinks it's like, yeah, I don't know. She kind of appreciates it and also thinks it's on some level kind of funny, just because it runs like counter to the image that she has of the character that she has of him in her head. And you know, also maybe a little offended. Like, yeah.
Nice.
And so you know, she's a little ambivalent, I think, about it.
Yeah, I like it.
And actually, I think, yeah, I think she'll also wander over to Thea, and she'll try and catch him in a moment. Man, wow, Timothy was just being a total dick tonight.
Oh, he's been drinking a lot. Don't worry about him.
Well, if you say so. Just watch out for that. You know, that guy. He's got more spine than it seems like, and yeah, I don't know. Watch out for him. He has unexplored depths.
Whoa, this party's getting deep.
Cheers.
Yeah, perfect. And I think we'll use that as an excuse to follow the camera over to Thea.
So I think Thea's kind of partying, like playing games and some drinking games and stuff, but then goes and finds Nova.
Mhm.
Hey, Nova!
Hey, good party.
Yeah, it worked out. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun. What do you say? Should we do a little last tour of the ship before we?
Sure. I noticed that Song isn't here, so maybe I'll try to get her up on board, and then you can maybe do some exploring.
All right, sounds good.
So I will go below deck and see if I can see if Song is down there guarding.
That's exactly where she is.
Song, I brought you drinks.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You should come up. We're all dancing.
I know. I can hear it from here. Listen.
Dong, 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 dong. Yeah, that guy with the peg leg, he sure can dance.
Yeah. Poor. It's quite the deal. He's quite fluid on that though, yeah.
Yeah, so come on up with us.
Oh, I'm supposed to be down here.
But the party's up the stairs, and you're down here.
Sure, yeah.
You said that you would join in on the party.
I did. It's true. But I have duties.
Can I try to persuade her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Big money. I might end up using my luck on this one. Okay. Well, let's see how it goes first. Persuasion. Ooh. I will use that luck and try again. All right. Come on. Bigger. No. All right.
No, I mean I'd love to, but the captain, I don't think she'd go for it.
Well, let me see what I can do about that. And I head back upstairs. She won't come up, Thea.
Oh crap.
You think she's gonna get in trouble with the captain?
Well, what if the captain invited her up here? She wouldn't get in trouble then.
Do you think? Let's see. How could we convince her to bring Song up here?
Well, I think she likes Celexa. Maybe we can get her to help us get everybody to the party. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Hey, Celexa!
Flux usually.
Hey. Oh, hey, how's it going? Are you gonna are you going to uh threaten me and talk about poisoning my drink too?
I don't know what you're talking about, but nope.
Oh, okay, that's good. Sorry. Timothy got under my skin a little bit tonight.
Oh, yeah, that happens. Hey, have you ever wondered about
So,
that wheat underneath the ship?
oh yeah, I mean that's obviously bullshit, but like I don't know. Do you care? Like, do you think there's something interesting?
You know what? She's had 2 posted guards there the entire time. There's got to be something interesting down there.
Okay, yeah, that's maybe so, but well, I don't know. Have you tried looking?
Well, there's one guard currently there. We could try to, if you could convince the captain to bring everyone up on board, including her, then Thea could sneak down. Or uh, I don't know. I don't know if I know this, but you have a little friend, don't you?
No, you do not know that.
I do not.
Selexa has never shared about her little friend. No.
Yeah, unless you have any better ideas, Alexa.
Well, okay, let's try one quick thing first. Why don't you bring down a why don't you bring down some ale to to the guard, just as a, like, since they're missing out, they might as well have a drink.
Just did that, but I'm sure she's finished with the first one.
Yeah, bring another. I'll be right behind you.
All right. I go grab the biggest tankard I can and bring it down. Well, hey, Song, since you can't come up, I brought you more drink.
Thanks. Do you want to play a game of cards?
Oh, sure. I would like to try to position myself on the table in a way that makes it more difficult for her to see the door.
Yeah. Selexa, your intention is to sneak in or to send someone in, or?
My intention is to try and just like poke my head around the corner and cast sleep at 2nd level.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, Nova, you're there and you're like trying to position to distract and things like that. Nova, I think let's roll for you first. I think this is like sort of dexterity-y, like you're trying to physically block vision. So we'll call it an acrobatics check.
Okay.
Do you want to use your luck?
Do
you want to use luck?
I already used my luck.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Selexa pops her head around, and I think what happens is Song looks up at and sees Selexa and is like, "Hey, what are you doing down here? You want to?" And then Selexa casts sleep. So Selexa, why don't you roll that sleep for me? It's, what is it, 96, 98 or something like that?
78 at 2nd level.
Okay. Yeah, well, that beats 22. So, bam, conks out onto the table. Drink. But unfortunately, got a glimpse of you before it happened. So, when she wakes up, she'll know that something happened.
Okay, well, I guess you wanted to take a look inside, right?
Oh, I guess I'll be quick. I grab her keys and unlock the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yes, the door
just
unlocked.
behind Alexa, just like.
Perfect. So Timothy's the only one from the party on the deck right now. I approve. Yeah. So you unlock the door and head down and there's a little like ladder that goes down into the hold. Um, it's like a storage area mostly. There's caskets, sorry, casks, not caskets, casks down there, and huge amount of wheat, just like an astronomically large amount of wheat. It's basically filled from floor to ceiling with bundles of wheat. Yeah.
I'd like to search around in the middle of some of these piles of wheat and see if I can find anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you roll an investigation check for me? It's at disadvantage unless someone helps. Thea, do you want to help?
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay.
Make it a straight roll.
Investigation. And I'd like to add one of my d8s.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay. There we go.
26. Yeah. So it's not every bale. And it's not even a lot of them. But 3 of the bales that you feel have in the center of them boxes made of some sort of wood. It's like a dark wood of some sort. And these boxes are all locked.
I'd like to pull one out and say, Thea?
I pick the lock.
Yeah, roll thieves tools.
And so that you can have you can have a inspiration dice
Cool.
for that as well.
If you need a d8, you can add that, but that's a 29.
29. So.
Okay. You can save that inspiration for the next time you need to roll, which may be soon. Yeah. So there's 3 of them. They all look the same. Do you have a preference for which one you pop open?
Just whichever one is closest, I guess.
I'm just gonna roll randomly then. They're not really marked, so
Okay.
Makes sense. I'm just gonna roll randomly. Okay. Yeah. So you pop open the first one, and inside you see literally just in a long straight roll, vial after vial of Earth's blood.
Interesting.
Hey, one of us should be watching the door.
Yeah. I'll go. I'm gonna do that. I'll watch. I think actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and grab another tankard of ale for our friend Song here, and be right back down.
Okay. Yes, you go up to grab another tankard of ale. Slex, I think while you're up there, you notice that one of the one of the crew members, I think it's Porpor, the one-legged goblin, says, "I feel bad about Song. I'm gonna bring her down some ale."
Celexa stumbles over and she accidentally bumps into him and spills the ale onto him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm such a klutz. I'm not used to being on a ship. I'm sorry.
No worries. You'll get
if you
wait here long enough.
Here, let me get you another one.
Oh, it's for Song actually. I'm gonna get her another one.
Oh, I was actually just bringing one down. The one I just spilled on you was for her. I was bringing one down for her because she's. Yeah, I felt bad that she was down there, right? Like it sucks that she can't come to the party.
Yeah, I'll relieve her in when my ship's up in an hour. Uh,
I
yeah.
will tell her that she'll be so happy to come up and join us, I'm sure. She claps a hand on his shoulder. You're such a what a good friend you are.
Yeah. Roll a deception check.
Where are we?
Oh. Yeah. So he just looks at you and it's like, oh, yeah, here, and like just grabs another tankard and starts filling it and hands it to you. I'll be down and looks up at the stars. I don't know, half hour or so.
She just winks at him and takes the mug and whirls around and heads back down.
Meanwhile, back in the vault or the storage area.
Can I open box number 2?
Sure, go for it. Do you want to add that inspiration that Lex gave you?
Oh yeah, it's a D8.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah. So this one's a little finicky. You're able to open it, but it takes a fair bit of time for you to be able to open it. And I think that we'll see the consequences of that in a second. But for now, you're able to open it, finagle it open, and you flip it open, and you see bone metal, large amounts of bone metal, which is unusual, as you know. Meanwhile, Celexa, you're coming down the stairs, and you've got this tankard, and you're going to put it in front of Song and start watching the door. But Thea takes so long to pick that lock that Song starts to stir, just slightly coming to.
Okay. So Celexa is going to cast Enhance Ability on herself. And she is going to she's going to put the ale on the ground, and she's going to tap she's going to tap Song on the shoulder and say, hey, wake up, are you okay?
What
are you, how much did you have to drink? Are you all right?
Did they poison it?
What? It's how do you are you
hello? Is someone down there?
Do you feel poisoned?
Is someone down there?
Do you feel poisoned?
Starts standing herself up.
I literally just you're not feeling well. I literally just talked to your shipmate, and he said he was going to come down to relieve you.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't. Yeah. Roll. I mean, I think the intent is to deceive. It's sort of persuasion, but I'm going to call it deception here, right?
Okay.
You're lying with the truth. Yeah, and she looks at you and she says, "I've never fallen asleep before on duty."
It's been a long voyage, and there's all the ale. She gestures to the tankards around him.
Now 3 mugs around her.
Yeah, exactly. Let's.
Yeah.
Here. Why don't we go? Let's colleague and tell him that he needs to come back down right now. Right? Let's go get him, and he'll come relieve. He'll come relieve you.
I can't leave. Why don't you get him though? That's probably a good call.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, I should go. I should go get him for sure. So Or I did have an idea. Potentially, you could go. I could stay and watch, and you could go get him.
No. No.
Okay.
Nika, you're cutting out for us a little bit.
Well, okay, gotcha. So sorry.
Oh no, now it's me who's cutting out. Hold on one second. I'll be right.
Oh no.
There we go. Is that good? Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry.
So I was gonna try to cast suggestion.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So that's DC 16.
I fail with a 15.
All right. So the suggestion was that she goes up. That I will watch, and she goes up to get her coworker.
Yeah.
It'll be just. I'm sure you'll be back in just a second. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And so she starts walking that way. She's a little groggy and confused. This is the second magical mental spell that's been cast in the past, couple minutes on her. So she's a little groggy and confused, but she's making her way that way. Back inside the vault, Thea and Nova.
Has Alexa given us any cue that we should start coming out?
Selexa is going to send a message to you guys as soon as this happens, and as soon as Sloan rounds the corner, she's going to be like, "You guys have to get out of there right now."
Okay, I close the boxes that we opened and put these back.
Okay. I put them back where they came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you got to investigate 2 of the 3 boxes.
And
yeah.
You make your way back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you make your way back across the bales of hay. Again, it's mostly hay here. And then you, or wheat, mostly wheat, bales of wheat here. And you make your way across and climb up the ladder out. And I think as you do, you see Celexa standing guard while Song turns a corner and makes her way up the stairs.
Celexa I don't what gosh. Yeah, I feel like we should have a quick game of cards until what's his name comes back.
Yeah, so you lock the door behind you. You still have the key, obviously, you took. And then start playing a game of cards to make it look not suspicious at all. And then Porper and Oceana come down the stairs together.
Damn it, Alexa, you won again?
Well, you gotta stop. You gotta stop playing me when I'm drunk. When I drink, it's like a superpower. I never lose.
I'd pay for that superpower.
Oh, hi. Did
you find what you were looking for?
I think that we did. We found a great place to play a little game of cards and wait for Porpra to come down.
Porper, just go enjoy the party. Don't worry about it. Did you find what you were looking for?
Well, I didn't find anything.
Cunning little Celexa. Always lying with the truth.
What how's Song doing? She wasn't looking so well. I think she had a little too much to drink.
If by a little too much to drink you mean magic was cast upon her on my vessel.
I mean, does that I feel like I'm getting a little tone here. Does that sound like something I would do?
Yes.
Well. Okay, maybe you do know me a little bit, but not that well.
No. It's true. I hope to get you to know you better, but apparently that's not off the table. Don't magic my crew again.
I understand. I promise she'll be fine.
I know she'll be fine.
Can we deal you in?
No, I've lost my taste for playing games with people who suck. And she turns and walks away.
Burn.
Kinda. A little weak. I could have done better there. Oh well. Let's and I think that's where we will end today's session. Ooh. Good awkward. Okay. Yeah, let's hand out some experience points. Timothy, how you doing?
Let's see. Okay, so in a weird counterintuitive way, I think he maybe updated, but also went for his guiding light by threatening one. I don't know. No, I mean, I acted entirely against my guiding light, so I think I might need to change it.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
My bad. My internet is suddenly crapping out. Let's try that again. Guiding light is in a weird way by threatening Celexa you.
Well, I mean, I worked entirely against my guiding light, but it was to save many lives, which is kind of an update. It's kind of a new side of Timothy.
Yeah, sacrifice the few for the many.
Yeah,
I like it. I will allow. If your guiding light has changed, I will allow the new guiding light to have been satisfied. I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
Yeah, maybe he's becoming more practical,
or at least pragmatic, if not practical.
Yeah.
Excellent. What about your other beliefs?
Yeah, I did not do belief number 1 about the brain shrimp and Thea, and number 2, I think definitely vetting my team. I threatened my team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And we were very honest and forthright about it. So
that makes sense to me. Nova.
Well, I don't know if I threw myself into danger.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not guiding light, but
I'm kind of tempted to say that you did when you dove into the belly of a pirate queen's ship to steal things, but
was it
you guys also totally left Celexa out to dry when Oceana showed up.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so maybe not. Fair enough.
I don't know that I satisfied that one. I don't think I may have put myself into danger, but I definitely
was not saving your team. Fair enough. I agree. I'll agree.
The other, I think my beliefs I did though. I definitely did some snooping on Oceana and found out what was under the ship. So I think that was completed.
Yeah, I agree.
And then
about 2/3 of it, but we'll call it full.
And then I found out more about the seedy underbelly of Chelestra, and I feel satisfied with what I found out.
Good. Sounds good to me.
I would call that completed.
Yeah, works for me. So, Alexa.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out with the guiding light. There was a point where I was really feeling good about this during this game. I think in terms of like talking to her patron and resolving some of her like existential
Yeah, I strongly agree.
some of her existential conflict, you know. She's feeling more confident in herself and like she has a handle on things.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then for belief number 1, that she definitely, I would say that was satisfied, that she did connect with her patron. Belief number 2 seems like it's more of an ongoing thing. Like again, she brought Thea into her confidence and is continuing the murder investigation, but it's still it's a work in progress. So
yeah, so we'll call it 1
seems
point.
Like
sounds good to me.
Okay.
Works for me. I like it. Yeah, that seems great to me. I'll give you 4 points then. Nice job. Thea, that brings it to you.
Yeah. So my guiding light to get closer to everybody. I think I got closer to Celexa, sharing that I had brain shrimp and all that.
I'm curious. Sorry, Ami. Just a quick question as an aside. You have this guiding light. You want to get closer to the team. Is part of your guiding light a desire to get the whole team closer?
I think
like the fact that there's a rift now between Timothy and Celexa, is that a problem for your guiding light, or like that your guiding light would encourage you to solve, or is that or like can you satisfy your guiding light by being close to Celexa and close to Timothy and not really worrying about the fact that they have a rift?
I think that I want everybody to be together as a team.
Yeah.
Overarching.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious. Cool.
So belief 1, I wanted to find out about the people of Racy. I didn't really get too far with that. Belief 2, to get the party going. Did that.
Seems like a success to me. I like it. Okay, let's see. 4 plus 8 is 12, 29. Cool, awesome. You guys are almost certainly 1 session away from another level up. You are 4 points away, and as you guys know, 4 points in a session seems likely, statistically speaking. The lowest session you guys have had in a while was 8 points. In fact, that may be the lowest session you guys have ever had. But so next week, prepare for the possibility of a new level up and all that good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed the show, throw us a follow. We hit 100 followers shortly before the show, and then someone unfollowed us. So now we're at 99 again. So, you know, whatever. I don't really care. But I just posted this thing, oh, we're at 100 followers. And now I'm embarrassed that I did. But that's okay. Come check us out and have a good time. We have shows every Sunday and Thursdays. We've got 2 shows right now. And soon we'll have our Friday shows back as well. Lots of good stuff going on in the lands of the Shimmering Seas. And yeah, hope you're having a good time. Go live good and happy lives. As always, I strongly recommend that you call your cat and feed your mom. Bye, everyone.